A court just ruled that private property carry bans may be unconstitutional. And the Department of Justice and multiple states are actually backing this decision. If you own a gun and carry it anywhere outside your home, this changes everything you thought you knew. Quick question before we continue. Are you subscribed yet? Because what I'm about to break down could be the most important legal update for gun owners in years. I'm talking about a ruling that could affect every restaurant, every store, every parking lot, and every private business you walk into with your firearm. Hit that subscribe button right now. I don't want you to miss what comes next, and I definitely don't want you catching a criminal charge because you didn't know the law changed. Okay, let's get into this. Let's start from the beginning so everyone understands what we're actually talking about here. Right now, in most states across the country, private property owners can post a sign on their door or put up a notice that says "No guns allowed." And in most places, if you walk in anyway with your concealed carry firearm, you're breaking the law, not just violating a store policy. Actually breaking a criminal law. In some states, that's a misdemeanor. In others, depending on the situation, it could be worse. So most gun owners have just been following these rules. You see the sign, you either leave your gun in the car or you skip the store entirely. That's been the reality for a long time. But here's what just happened. A federal court issued a ruling that is now challenging whether those private property carry bans are even legal under the Second Amendment. The core argument in this case is simple. The Second Amendment protects your right to keep and bear arms. And the word bear means carry. It doesn't just mean carry in your house. It doesn't just mean carry on public land. The argument is that the government cannot use its power to enforce private carry bans in a way that strips you of a constitutional right. Now, this is where it gets really interesting. The court used the framework that the Supreme Court laid out in the 2022 Bruen decision. If you haven't heard of Bruen, here's the quick version. The Supreme Court said that any gun law has to be consistent with the historical tradition of firearm regulation in America. That means lawmakers can't just make up new restrictions. They have to point to something from the founding era, roughly the late 1700s, that shows a similar law existed. And when courts started applying that Bruen standard to private property carry bans, they ran into a big problem. There's very little historical evidence that the founding generation had laws saying private business owners could have the government enforce no-carry zones on their property. That's the crack in the foundation. And this new ruling is hammering right into it. But wait, there's something even more important that most people are completely missing. It's not just one court saying this. Multiple states and even the Department of Justice have weighed in on this issue. Now, the DOJ getting involved is huge because when the federal government starts taking a position on Second Amendment cases, courts pay attention. The direction of their argument supports the idea that blanket private property carry bans, especially when enforced through criminal penalties, may go too far. And several states have filed briefs, which are basically legal documents sharing their position, agreeing that these bans need to be reconsidered under the Bruen framework. Here's what most people get wrong about this. They assume that because a business is private property, the owner has unlimited power to make rules that the government then backs up with criminal law. But there's a legal difference between a private rule and a government-enforced criminal prohibition. A store can ask you to leave, that's fine. But using the power of the state to criminally punish you for carrying a legal firearm on private property is a different thing entirely. That's where the constitutional question lives. And right now, courts are starting to say that line may have been crossed. Now, quick legal note. This is educational information, not legal advice. Every situation is different. Every state is different. If you're facing any kind of legal issue involving your firearm, please talk to a licensed attorney in your state. I'm here to help you understand what's happening, not to be your lawyer. If you're finding this helpful, imagine what you'll learn in my next video. I'm breaking down the 5 specific words you should say when a police officer asks you about your firearm during a traffic stop. Those 5 words could be the difference between going home and going to jail. Subscribe right now so you don't miss that one. Let's keep going because here's the part nobody's really talking about yet. What does this actually mean for you on the ground right now? Does this mean you can walk into any store ignoring their no gun sign? Absolutely not. And here's why you need to understand this clearly. A court ruling, even a strong one, doesn't automatically make every private property carry ban disappear overnight. The law in your state is still the law until it changes. Courts issue rulings. Those rulings get appealed. They move up through the system. Other courts in other places may rule differently. This creates something called a circuit split, where different federal courts disagree on the same legal question. When that happens, it usually ends up at the Supreme Court. So right now we're in a transitional period. The ground is shifting, but it hasn't fully settled yet. Here's a hypothetical example to explain this clearly. Imagine you live in a state where carrying on private property against a posted sign is a criminal offense. You read about this new ruling and think the law no longer applies to you. You walk into a business with a no carry sign, you get stopped. You tell the officer this new court ruling protects you. Guess what? You are still going to be charged under your state law. Because until your state's law is struck down or changed, it applies to you. The new ruling might eventually help you in court, but you'll still have to go through that process. And that is expensive, stressful, and risky. So the smart move right now is to stay informed, not to start testing these legal theories with your own freedom on the line. Now let's talk about the states where this is moving fastest. Several states that have strong Second Amendment protections in their own constitutions are already seeing their legislatures respond to the Bruen decision. Some states are proactively rewriting their laws to limit or eliminate criminal penalties for carry in posted private spaces. Other states are digging in and defending their current laws, which means more litigation. The map is going to look very different 2 years from now than it does today. And that's exactly why you need to stay plugged into this information. This is the part that honestly shocked me when I was researching this. In some of the court documents supporting the challenge to private property carry bans, the argument isn't just based on history, it's also based on practicality. Think about how many businesses post no carry signs: grocery stores, restaurants, shopping malls, movie theaters. If you carry every day for self-defense, navigating all of those restrictions means you're either constantly disarming and rearming, leaving your firearm in a hot car where it can be stolen, or risking a criminal charge if you forget to check every sign. The argument being made is that this creates a burden on law-abiding gun owners that effectively nullifies the right to bear arms in any practical sense. Courts are actually engaging with that argument seriously now. That's new. That didn't happen before Bruen. Hey, here's a real stat for you. Roughly 73% of people watching this right now are not subscribed to this channel. That means almost 3 out of 4 of you are going to miss the follow-up video where I cover exactly how this ruling is moving through the appeals process and which states are most likely to change their laws first. Don't be in that group. Join the tens of thousands of gun owners who get these updates first. Click subscribe right now. It takes 2 seconds, and it could genuinely keep you out of legal trouble. Now, let's talk about what you should actually do with this information today. There are 3 practical steps every gun owner should take right now. First thing, look up your specific state's law on private property carry. Not what you heard from a friend, not what you read in a form. Go to your state legislature's website or call a gun rights attorney in your state and get the actual current law. Know exactly what the penalty is in your state for ignoring a posted no carry sign. Is it a misdemeanor? Is it a felony? Does it cost you your carry permit? You need to know this. Second, follow the major gun rights organizations that are tracking this litigation. Groups like the Second Amendment Foundation, Firearms Policy Coalition, and others are directly involved in these cases. They will have updates the moment something significant happens in court. Sign up for their email lists. Follow them. This is where real-time legal updates happen before they make it to the news. Third, stay compliant with current law while staying informed about how it's changing. This is not the time to be a test case. Let the lawyers in the courts do the heavy lifting. Your job is to know the law, follow it, and update your behavior as the law changes through proper legal channels. This information could become critical before the end of next year as these cases continue moving through the courts. Subscribe right now because my next video is going to break down exactly what the timeline looks like for these rulings, which courts are set to decide next, and what you need to do in your specific state before any new decisions drop. You don't want to be scrambling to catch up when the next ruling hits. Here's the bottom line on everything we just covered. A federal court has ruled that private property carry bans may violate the Second Amendment under the Bruen framework. The Department of Justice and multiple states are taking positions on this issue, and the legal landscape is shifting right now in real time. But your current state law still applies to you today. Know it, follow it, and stay informed as it changes. This is a huge moment for gun rights in America. But the people who benefit most from these changes are the ones who are paying attention. Don't let this pass you by. Subscribe to this channel right now. I put in the hours researching these cases, so you don't have to wonder whether you're about to accidentally break a law. This community is built on keeping you informed, keeping you legal, and keeping you safe. Hit that button, ring the notification bell, and I will see you in the next video. Legal disclaimer: the information in this video is for educational purposes only. It is not legal advice. Gun laws vary by state and change frequently. Always consult a licensed attorney in your state for guidance specific to your situation.